is time for This Week in Location-Based Marketing episode number 51. That is T-minus 1 week before our 1 year anniversary. I don't even know what we're going to do. What do you give somebody for their first anniversary? Whatever it is, you can start sending it our way. Whatever it is, we really appreciate it.
We like cupcakes.
Cupcakes for your first year anniversary. This is being recorded live between Asif and I on November 13th, Sunday. That is late in the evening. We are here to talk about all things that are location-based and location-based marketing. And as always, there's a ton of it. But before we get there, some introductions. In case you didn't know, my name, Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv. If you haven't watched any of the previous 50 episodes, just a reminder that, as always, with me, from the Location-Based Marketing Association, directly from Toronto, Mr.
Asif Khan. Yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at AsifRKhan or at Asif at the LBMA on the email. And it is me. If you have been watching, yes, I have glasses on tonight. The contacts are killing me, but see, there's still me.
Asif is behind those glasses.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the battle. This is the battle of the geeks, right? Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Episode number 51. You know, quite a week. You know, I know this. We got some stories around Yellow Pages, around PayPal. Got a great product of the week. You know, Brett Martin's company. You're gonna have to find out who that is. Service called Poorsquare. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, are we ever gonna roast this company like a weenie on the bar? We'll talk about that and a bunch of deals. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where to begin, so let's just dive in, Asif. Is there anything that struck you this week? I think the first story did.
Yeah, the first story was interesting. So YPG, the Yellow Pages group, launched a new app called ShopWise, and it's interesting because this is a Canadian story. Obviously, this is Yellow Pages group in Canada. And effectively what ShopWise is an app that basically goes and sources all the local deals that are available at major retailers, and just kind of puts them all in one place for you. And you know, while I see value in that as a service, you know, putting all of the, basically what they've done is the same flyers you would get in newspapers and everywhere else from, you know, the Bay and Sears and, you know, Best Buy, et cetera, et cetera. They're just putting all of that in one place in this app, and you can go and flip through, and you can, you know, basically bookmark ones that you want to remember, and you know, sign up to be alerted when, you know, your favorite retailer has a special offer, et cetera, et cetera. So there's value to that, and I'll give full credit to that. And they're saying they've got the largest database of deals out there, or retailers out there. But there's nothing new here. Like, this is, you know, a while ago we talked about ShopCatch, which is from
Toronto.
You know, the Toronto Star digital group, and it does exactly the same thing. So you know, it's another Me Too, and you know, I question whether or not, you know, how many of these can we sustain in the marketplace. So.
You know, and certainly this is an interesting one. But as I downloaded it and I went through it, I did my research today for the first time in 51 episodes. Thank you very much. So I know what I'm talking about, sort of. But I downloaded the app and I played around with it, and I'm in Ottawa, and certainly there's the Canadian Tire deals, which is basically every deal. Like, it's the Thursday flyer that everybody in Canada waits for. Yeah. But what I found is that it's being bastardized a little bit by, you know, I had in there when I was saying deals around me, it said free Wi-Fi from Starbucks, free Wi-Fi from McDonald's, free ground shipping for lids.ca. Those are not location-based deals, right? And right. Everybody's trying to figure out how to use these to game them a little bit. But it, yeah, you know, and then the deal started to repeat itself as I broadened my horizon. So, you know, there's a Starbucks in every corner. So, you know, at 0.3 kilometers from me, there was a Starbucks. At 0.5 kilometers, there was a Starbucks. So there's a lot of repetition saying, hey, free Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. And, or, you know, buy one, get one free. And these are all the deals that you would get when you walk into there. Or sign up for our newsletter and we'll send you a free appetizer from Milestones. That kind of stuff kind of makes this non-effective for me, right? This is why I do like what ShopCatch and Candace Factor is doing over there with Torstar Media, because at least they're curating the list with their hands, right? They're actually adding these deals, and they're doing a great job of adding these deals.
Correct.
They're not putting this garbage in, which is what the Yellow Pages have done. They've just amassed any deal.
Yeah, it's just a mass dump, and there's no curation there. And again, like, I don't see anything new in this. I understand why they have to do this. They have to have a service offering in the space because they're the Yellow Pages group and they have access to that data. But at least, come on, guys, like, there's got to be some innovation or some way to make this thing different than what we've already seen from 15 other players in the market. Like, that's what frustrates me with it. So, anyways,
yeah. So the Yellow Pages, they've launched it. Check it out, ShopWise. It'll tell you that what the deals are around you, but you be ready to do a little sifting through those deals because those deals aren't real deals. That's what I've come to the conclusion. Yeah. But ShopCatch is a different thing, and I'd recommend. I did an interview with Candace, and she was great. And
they're great. Yeah.
Good company, and big brand backing behind them, which is good. So the relationships that they can create are even greater. Yellow Pages, good effort. 2 years, too late. Would have been innovative in 2009. Yeah. And if you're watching this in 2012, 3 years too late. So Yellow Pages, go and check it out. ShopWise if you want it, but if not, go to ShopCatch. Download their app. It's a little bit better. And if you're in Canada anyways, which is where this is effective, might as well just go with those guys. Second story, PayPal getting into the NFC game. Never say never.
Never say never. So PayPal basically announced this week a P2P payment service, peer-to-peer for those who aren't up on the lingo. And this is actually something they announced a few months ago, but it's actually now here and available. And it's part of their latest OS 3.0, I think it's called. So
it's for Android only right now, though.
Yeah, for Android only. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what this is if you and a friend want to make a payment between each other, and you both have the PayPal Android app installed, you can effectively just bump phones and pass money. So pretty cool, pretty simple, pretty innovative. Unlike what we just talked about. So yeah. I like it. It's the simplicity of it makes it really interesting and I think effective. And I think at the end of the day, I talk a lot, at conferences, and one of the things I constantly say, when people ask about building mobile apps and where this stuff is going, I say, like, whatever you do, it has to be simple with the least number of steps. Like, that's what you need to focus on, right? And it's got to be as close to magic as possible. So.
Obviously, they chose Android first simply because of the prevalent NFC chips in the Nexus S phone, the Google Nexus S phone. So I'm going to assume that it'll come to an iPhone near you once you've got once it has an NFC chip, which is great. And this is a reversal for PayPal, who said that they're not interested in NFC. But we all knew that this was gonna be a part of their plan. They needed to do this, and I gather you can still, like, this is where Bump and PayPal had a great the app Bump, and yes. PayPal had a technology that allowed you to do this. So I mean, basically, you bump to send your friends money, and this has been around for about a year, just over a year, I think. So NFC is just another way of doing that, but you can still bump and exchange it the way that with that technology as well.
Right, and remember they also acquired Where a little while ago, who also had a integration with Bump in their app. So. I think there's some expertise there on how to do this, and I'm not surprised, by the way. I mean, despite PayPal saying we're not doing NFC, this application of NFC is not kind of the the big application that I think we all expect. I think these micro payment kind of environment. Yeah. Small payments between people. That's how people use PayPal anyways. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would speculate to say that it's a pretty high percentage of PayPal transactions that are these types of small transactions between individuals. Yeah. And probably less so on the corporate side. So this makes tons of sense to me.
It does, and I guess the question is that when does Bump get acquired by somebody like PayPal, or when does it get integrated right into something like this? Because their technology is very cool. It's not a Bluetooth technology; it's actually a motion and location technology that triangulates it all and manages it with their secret sauce. But this, I think, it would be a good fit for PayPal. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Hey. I'd take the money if I could. So that's great. The PayPal is launching their NFC P2P app, and on Android 3.0 Nexus S devices. Anything with an NFC chip, I'm going to assume in the Android space.
Right.
Very cool. Okay, let the roasting begin.
Right.
Oh, man. You found this thing called On the Bar, which is a new app. You can explain it, because I'm probably going to laugh.
Okay, so yeah, On the Bar, it's a iPhone and Android app, and basically it's described as this thing that lets you connect with your favorite bartender. So the concept behind this is that if you're a regular bar goer and you've got your favorite bartender...
stop the story right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I just couldn't keep it in. Okay, carry on. So if you're a frequent bar person,
got your favorite bartender, and you don't know when that bartender is working, and so you want to make sure you're there when they're there, kind of thing. And so rather than checking into the place, the bar itself, you check into the bartender. So like that bartender basically says when they're on and where they are, and then you go there because you've got this relationship with that bartender.
Oh my god!
Don't we have dating apps for that?
I know exactly.
Don't we? Don't we have dating apps for that?
Oh, I feel so bad because I can see this guy. He's probably like a 20-year-old dude. He's like. Who was trying to? The story behind this is that he was trying to, get in touch with his buddy who's a bartender, and he was hard to get in touch with. So he built this app so that the guy could tell him when he's at the bar. I'm like, the killer app of this thing is still a call or send him a text message or, I love the mobile space. I do. But when I see stuff like this, they're going after a seed round for this because they've had hundreds of downloads and 60 bartenders sign up in Boston, I think. And I'm like, really?
I don't get it. And I love the statement in the release. The model is turning location-based services on their heads.
On their heads,
putting people rather than places at the forefront of check-ins. Come on.
Oh. When you watch a movie, right, and it's one of those embarrassing scenes, like maybe an American Pie or something like that, and you're like, oh, I can't even watch it because I'm getting red, I'm getting embarrassed.
Yeah.
Talking about this makes me feel like that. Is that there is a reason for mobile, and there's a great reason for mobile. And sorry, guy who did this, who I can't... Ian? Sorry, Ian, man. I love the enthusiasm, and don't take it the wrong way, but this is a terrible idea. And anybody out there who thinks that it's not, I would love to hear from you. I don't want to dash somebody's dreams, but anybody who puts a seed round or an ounce of a penny in this business model, you are off my Christmas list. You are. I will.
Or at least give us a call and explain the rationale behind putting money into this thing. So
please. So if On the Bar in its current status raises any money, and we find out about that, I will call out those VCs or those angels because it's just a ridiculous thing. Please don't invest in this. Please don't encourage this. I love the enthusiasm. I love the innovation or the lack of innovation. I love the ideas, but this is business idea one. Man, I don't even know what to say. Ian, good luck on your next one, buddy. Ian, if you're watching this, I'd love to hear from you. Prove us wrong.
There you go. On the Bar. If you're in Boston, give it a shot.
If you're in Boston, and you like to go out to the bars, and the best line on this entire release, I gotta pull it up here. Boston was a great place to start building this app because the bartending community is so tight. Adds Ian. And of course, there are a lot of thirsty people here too. Now you have no excuse not to drink up, Boston.
There you go. We should get... now I want Schneider Mike's opinion on it.
Yeah, Schneider.
He's in Boston.
He is. So. Well, let us know if you use this app, and if you haven't, go and download it. Why not? Support the thing. It's called On the Bar. And... Again, it's about finding your favorite bartender, and having them let you know the brand of the bartender, having them let you know when they're working. But I find that it's on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm not going to base my decision on going out based on if the bartender's working or not. But I think on a Sunday night, I might, or a Monday night, I might. And if I really need to know where my bartenders are, I think I might have a bit of a different problem. I'm just saying. I don't want to be judgmental. However, if you know the bartender that well, and he's not a good friend or a roommate, well, I'd be going to some other kind of meetings. How's that? On the Bar. let's get off this topic before I totally destroy Ian. This is a this had to come soon. Our fourth story. This had to come soon, right?
Right.
Asif, this is an idea whose time has come. There's probably a bunch of these that are out there right now, but let's talk about Poorsquare.
Yeah, Poorsquare is cool. So this is something I like, and basically what they've said is Foursquare itself as it is a great tool. There's all sorts of stuff you can do in terms of exploring what's around you, finding deals, finding places to go, check-ins, mirrors, badges, There's all that there, but for the masses, according to these guys, all you really care about is finding where all the really good deals are and the free stuff in your neighborhood. And so they basically built a platform called Poorsquare, which it does exactly that. It uses the Foursquare search engine and database, and then basically surfaces just the stuff that is the freebies and discounted items that are in your neighborhood. How can you not like that?
Well, you know what? I think that this is something that I'm pretty. There's got to have been something like this out there before, hasn't there? Like that's what surprised me is that somebody coming up with this idea. I don't know how they turn it into revenue. This is just a hobby site for sure, but it's in 85 cities in the U.S. and London. I don't understand why it would be so difficult to just make it a worldwide phenomenon, but I don't know how these guys make money, but I'm really pleased with the fact that they've done this because they show you where the real value is in Foursquare, which is the freebies that you get from check-ins.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Well, and that's the thing because if you're a Foursquare user like I am, I mean, you go to whatever place you're at and you check in, and then when you go to check in, then you see whether there's a special or a freebie or whatever there, but you don't know that until you go to check in, right? And they're basically saying, no, we're just going to broadcast out where all the deals are around you, and then you can decide where you're going to go, right? You can just go to a place because, you're going to get free fries or free whatever. And, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can live for free off of... off
of Foursquare?
Off of Foursquare. Who knows?
Well, they said that they are going to bring out an iOS app. At some point, this is a lot of companies are doing that. They're bringing in the location and they're bringing in the Foursquare deals, as well as local Groupons and local any kind of coupon that's coming through. So I think that this isn't probably a unique idea, but we're going to see more and more of this. Who knows what the true value is of Foursquare yet? But certainly this is one piece of it, and I like the idea. Poorsquare.us, right? For the masses. Yeah, no, it's cool.
I wish them good luck, and I think it's an idea that, as you say, I gotta think that there's others out there, but this is the first one I've heard of. So here you go, Poorsquare.
Yeah, and it's for the masses, so you don't have to check in, which is a good thing. So if you're worried about your location, you can participate with Foursquare without actually having to check in. If you're in the 85 cities plus London, so go to Poorsquare. Just as it sounds, Poor Square.us, and you can choose a city and choose a state and location, and away you go to discounts. So only one roast in our stories.
Yeah.
So Yellow Pages launches ShopWise, PayPal getting into the NFC P2P play on Android. Onthebar gets roasted like a weenie, as I said, and Poorsquare, its time has come. If you want to participate in Foursquare and you don't want to check in, you want to get the deals, go to Poorsquare.us. 4 stories. 19 minutes. Episode number 51. We're actually getting good at this, aren't we?
We should be. It's almost a year.
You know what? That's right. We're getting used to it. I think this is really the first time where I've had kind of a visceral embarrassment kind of feeling around a product. Like, I don't want to come back to Onthebar, but, it's the first time I've really looked at it and said, look, I can't even condone the idea here. So, first for everything.
Better next week, Rob.
Yeah, just wait. Bring on a good one next week, Asif, because I just don't want it. Maybe we'll get, hey, Ian could be our guest next week. It'll be a comedy show.
There you go.
All right, let's jump right into the funding. And this was and acquisitions. This was a big week for acquisitions.
Yes.
A lot of Me Too has-beens. So do we want to jump right into the first one, which is Amazon acquiring this company called Yap?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting story. So Yap is a company that it built or had built speech recognition technology, and apparently Amazon's acquired them. I couldn't find any numbers. I don't know if you were able to in terms of the dollar value of this transaction. But
it was all very secret, wasn't it? 'Cause
it was all very secret. Secret. It came out, I think, in their latest public filings. Yeah, so I think it happened like, a month ago or so. But anyhow, yeah. So this is a voice recognition company, voicemail transcription for voicemails, iPhone and Android devices supported. And I think the story here is there seems to be, anyways, the rumors that are spinning around. What little we know about this acquisition is that Amazon might be prepping to basically develop their own competition to Apple's Siri.
Yeah.
Which we've obviously heard lots of great things about Siri, and I think tons of people are applauding it everywhere. And so I think that's interesting if that's indeed the case, that Amazon's going to do that. And I think there's lots of location awareness and location delivery in terms of service delivery that can come out of a voice service like this. So
yeah, you know what I wonder is that so Amazon, it's very clear that this is the week they're launching their tablet.
Yes.
And it'll be towards the end of this week, and huge demand. They pre-ordered 5 million devices, which is astounding in the first run, and which is higher than the iPad pre-order, which is incredible for the iPad 1. So, on one side I think, wow, this is really cool that they acquire Yap. They're going to integrate this, but they're building it for. Are they building it for the Android platform? Because that's what their tablet is based on. It's a kind of a customized version of Android. So. I would wonder if they would buy Yap to bring it into the Android platform, or is this a precursor to them buying something like WebOS or building their own operating system so that they could actually have that? Because Siri is iPhone 4S only, iOS only. They can't run it on a 4, can't run it on any previous versions. iPhone 4S because it is a distinguishing feature of the iPhone. So I don't think I would see Amazon launching Yap as an Android device or as an Android application simply because it's they'd want this proprietary, just like Siri is for iOS.
Yeah,
maybe I'm off, but
I mean, it's hard to speculate, but I think there's certainly room for Siri competition to emerge.
Sure.
And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to come from the Googles, the Amazons of the world. I mean, it has to, right? And I think when you look at market penetration, and the 500 million pre-orders.
No, 5 million, not 500 million.
Yeah, sorry, 5 million. Yeah. Pre-ordered tablets. This is the Kindle Fire tablet we're talking about, and I think those numbers are huge. And I think consumers want that kind of functionality. Consumers want that kind of technology. So. Yeah. I expect it's going to be part of that, if not in this release, in a quick software update shortly thereafter.
I wonder if it's going to be browser based. It's an intriguing play, and I look to Amazon and say, how are they going to integrate this into the shopping experience? Because ultimately that's what this tablet is. It's a gateway. It's a window. It's the new shop window. So. But Amazon acquires, and we don't know what the deal is. It was very secret because it wasn't even Amazon. It was a different company that they acquired that owned Yap, and they just traced it back to a forwarding address, and it actually landed on Amazon's plate, and then we found out through their financial reports. So Amazon acquires Yap. Let's see how this plays out. Second thing, another acquisition. So this is interesting. Like Walmart getting into this thing. Walmart Labs buying Grabble, not Grapple, Grabble. Right? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I think the fact that it's Walmart or Walmart Labs in this case is huge, because this is now obviously one of the biggest retailers in the world stepping up and saying, we want to play a role in payment technologies, because Grabble is basically a point of sale technology that integrates with mobile phones. This is in the same space as the PayPal discussion we were just having. NFC is coming. Walmart's understanding that, Walmart was, one of the first way back when to go RFID, tagging on consumer level products. Obviously they're saying they want to be one of the first to get into this kind of payment technology as well.
So this is a hardware, right? This is a hardware play.
This is a hardware point of sale technology that connects to mobile phones. So it's kind of like Square, the merchant piece of Square, right? That we were talking about the other week.
So I guess Square is out as a Walmart customer.
I guess that's what they're saying. So, so there's a lot going on here. And another story that we could have talked about this week is there was another announcement. I didn't mention this to you, Rob, but a company called NetCents, NetCents, also announced a peer-to-peer mobile payments platform, exactly like the PayPal piece. So there's a ton going on in this community right now. And we'll see. I mean, I think Walmart has always been an innovator, and this is probably a good move for them. At the very least, they're gonna trial. We talked about Walmart a few weeks ago about their kind of going local mobile, in terms of allowing individual stores to run their own mobile websites effectively, and pushing local specials and local products. I mean, think about how this kind of payment piece fits into that now. That could be really interesting.
I think that this is Walmart. Walmart was very late to the web e-commerce game, right? They were, when Amazon was sprouting up and starting to eat into their revenue, Walmart didn't have an e-commerce enabled website for the longest time. It was a shock, really. And then it even took longer to get up to Canada. So I think that what these guys are looking at now, they're a little bit more forward-thinking, a little bit more along. They have much more to lose now from e-tailers like Amazon, and this certainly is it. If the prognostications of an e-wallet or a mobile wallet are actually going to come true, these guys have to be looking at this technology, and so they'll take Grabble, which is a tough name, but they'll take Grabble into Walmart Labs. Now it's a product of Walmart, and just like them, they own their ecosystem. They own, they crunch numbers all the way down. If you've ever want to read a great book, it's The Walmart Effect, and it's about how they managed to streamline their entire process from actually ordering in bulk from suppliers, all the way down to making efficient use of lines. It's pretty incredible. So this is just another piece of that that they have to be able to offer. So good on them for exploring this. And I don't know much about Grabble, but it's along the same lines as it seems to be as Square, right? And point of sale. So it makes sense to me that the world's largest retailer would get into this space if everybody else is doing it. So they buy Grabble. We don't have any numbers on that, do we?
No, we don't have numbers. That's kind of a consistent theme today, apparently.
Well, here's a number for you.
Yeah.
$150 million.
Yes.
Now that isn't. We don't charge nearly that much for a sponsorship for This Week in Location-Based Marketing. Close.
No.
Maybe 150.
That's our 10-year rate, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's prorated for our entire lifetime.
Right. Yeah. So
big deal.
Little company called Whaleshark.
Yeah, little.
Great name. I love it. Yeah. Whaleshark announced that they've raised $150 million from JP Morgan fund management fund. And that's after they had already raised previously to that about $150 million.
Good God!
So in total they've raised about $300 million now.
This is a coupon company.
What's that?
This is a coupon company.
This is a coupon company. Yeah, a coupon company that apparently draws about 300 million customer visits a year to their various sites, spanning 130,000 merchants that are featured on these sites. So
crazy.
This is a massive company doing a ton of business. So if they got 300 million customer visits a year and they've raised $300 million,
that's good customer acquisition numbers.
That's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, I like it. But these guys own a bunch of other companies: Retail Me Not, Voucher Codes, Deals.com, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are a player now. Do you think that this is a?
They keep buying companies. I mean, they just bought Retail Me Not a few months ago. So
yeah. But do you think that these guys are now so they're different than the daily deals, but they're in competition with coupons?
And so if you're asking me, I would say that we're seeing a lot of money moving into this couponing space, and I think part of that is that the psychology of the customer who clips coupons and has been clipping coupons for eons now is very different than the Groupon daily deal customer, which is just looking for that deal, and there's no loyalty, there's no coming back. The guys who buy diapers and clip the dollar off, the Pampers every week, or the moms, whatever, they still buy diapers every week. They're going to continue to buy diapers every week. They're probably going to buy it from the same place they go to every week to do their shopping, but they still want that coupon. So if I get my 50% off the pedicure, I'm not going to do that that often. So there's a big difference between the psychology of the consumer, and I think at the end of the day, this couponing world is not going away. It's getting bigger, and it's actually being helped a lot by the daily deal phenomena. And I think you're going to see a lot of these old couponing companies, and we've talked about the old blue envelopes and all that kind of stuff before on this show. And I think you're going to see a big resurgence and a lot of money flow back into that space.
It's funny, right? I mean, coupons are pretty consistent since the first use of them in the late 1800s. They've been around. And I joke, and I do this, I semi-joke around this, but they have shaved off somewhere in the realm of about $4.5 to $5 trillion off of the world's economy since coupons have been brought out, which is a serious amount of money, and that's just in discounts and coupons. But these guys, they're fighting against coupons.com and a bunch of other guys who have raised probably in the same realm of these guys. So maybe there's 3 competitors who have totally raised maybe about $500 million over the last year. This is big for a discounted, like for a coupon companies. It's pretty incredible.
It's huge. So anyways, good on them, and I expect to hear more from these guys in terms of further acquisitions over the next 12 months.
Well, Asif, I got to make an observation here, is that since you've been wearing the glasses, you sound a lot smarter. I don't know. Put it out to the audience. Is that maybe the glasses, Asif, they're working for you.
All right.
Not that you weren't smart before. I was just saying.
We'll keep that in mind.
There's an observation there.
Yeah.
And this will be we will not get to episode
number 52. The old cap and gown to go with it then.
Exactly. Well, now, as I've said that, Asif was now just made it up in his mind that we will not get to episode number 52 next week. He said, this is it. Woodbridge, you're out. We'll get a new co-host. Thank you very much. So Amazon acquires Yap. Walmart gets into the game with Grabble, and if you want to know about that, just go to grabbleapp.com. There's a nice little letter saying, woohoo! I think that's pretty much what it says. We were bought by Walmart, right? I don't know what they paid. And Whaleshark Media raises $150 million, and they're in the coupon space, and they are just basically this big thing, like, if you know what a Whaleshark is, right? Eating up all the other coupon providers, which is good news if you are actually running a coupon site.
Yeah.
Good news. I'd be putting my hand up right now. All right. Let's jump into this. The product of the week. Oh, good friend Brett Martin. Brett
Martin, who runs a great little company called Sonar. Yes. If you're not familiar with it, basically it's a location-based app that sucks in data from Foursquare and Twitter and Facebook, and then helps you understand when you're in a place who all those other people are that are around you. Yep. By figuring out what they like and what your common interests are and all these kinds of things. And it's there's a ton of value in that data, and it's something that I talk about all the time. I mean, as you know, Rob, I go to tons of conferences. I'm always speaking all over the place. And I've always said, over and over again, I say, look, when I show up at a conference and I'm at a networking event or wherever I am, there's all these people in the room. Let's say there's 100 people in a room. I just want to know more about these people. I want to know who I should be talking to, why I should be talking to them. Where our common interests and potential opportunities to do business are, and whatnot. And the other thing is I met Brett in person for the first time this week in New York this past week while I was there, and just a phenomenal guy. Great speaker. Really understands the value of what he's bringing to the marketplace. I think there's huge value in this kind of data, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it too. But
yeah, I loved it. I love it. When I was I launched it, and of course, in my neighborhood, I'm in Ottawa, and there's not a lot of people using Sonar or using check-in technology for that matter. So there's nobody around me. But when I was using this in San Francisco or using this in San Diego at the conferences, it popped up. I even used it at a San Francisco Giants game, and there were a number of people that through my association, through LinkedIn, through Foursquare, through Facebook, were there. Friends of friends of friends. We had a number of people in common. I would send them a note. And even when I was in San Francisco at the GigaOM Mobilize conference, people were sending me notes saying, hey, listen, I know you through this guy. Let's connect. So it really did have that kind of really great community building feel. I like this. I like that it's a layer on top of all of this kind of stuff. I was a big fan of it. I sat down with Brett Martin for an Untethered.tv episode at the beginning of October and was really impressed with the guy, really impressed with the company, the clarity of the vision. And I like it a lot. He was telling some great stories about people, how people connect with this who would not normally connect. And really, when I go to a conference or when I'm speaking at a conference, there are 4 or 5 guys that I want to reach out to. Maybe I don't know them, but I know that they're there, and now I have a way to reach out to them.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of focus on that point, and actually this is the one thing that I talked to Brett about specifically last week while I was there. And it's one thing if you're in a room and you're listening to a bunch of people, or there's 4 or 5 guys that you kind of recognize. You see their faces in the room, and then you see them on the app, and you say, I want to know more about those guys or who they are. But one of the other things that's kind of missing from the app, and this is what I said to Brett, and he immediately lit up and said, we just wait for the next version because I think you're going to like it a lot. And so what I said to him was, what I really want is I want you to take all the data that you have, that you're sucking in from all the APIs from Foursquare and Twitter and Facebook that you already have in there, and LinkedIn. And use all that data and correlate what you know about me to what you know about everybody else in there, and then push me recommendations actually of who I should meet and why. Yeah. Because there's value for me to connect with this particular individual. I might not know that individual. I might not know why I should connect with that individual, but you have the power to tell me that. Yeah. And I think that's one piece that would add a ton of value to Sonar, and I look forward to the next iteration. Well, hopefully I'll be happy. So, anyways,
I like it, and I think mass adoption is of interest. Because you've got to put your hand up and say, either I'm here or I'm connected on LinkedIn, and you've got to be using these things. But I'll tell you the juxtaposition is that I used this at Mobilize, which was great. I got a lot of inbound. I did a lot of outbound. I connected with a lot of people that I normally wouldn't have connected with them. Then at the end of the week, I actually went to an HR mobile recruiting camp. I was speaking at that about using mobile to recruit your next employee, and nobody was there that was using it. So there's the kind of optimism side, which is the Mobilize conference, the tuned in, the plugged in, and then there's the HR conference, which is kind of where reality is. So all of these technologies require a lot of input in order for them to be a lot of value. And if nobody's using them, it's not going to work. But I do like Sonar. I love the name Sonar, and speaking with Brett was great. So I would definitely jump in and start using this. And if you haven't heard of it, just look up Sonar online, or just go to sonar.me, or look up Sonar app in the App Store, or just go to sonar.me for more information.
Yep.
I think we both like this, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, and I'll plug it. Brett, I sat down with Brett for a long-form interview on Untethered.tv, October 6th. Just type in Sonar at Untethered.tv in the search, and it'll come up. And have a listen if you're on the fence about it. Sonar.me. Good job, Brett. Last thing, a resource. This is a shocker, that mobile brings new opportunities for local retailers.
Didn't you think so?
I mean, I'm glad that this is from eMarketer, and I'm glad that people are actually thinking about this now. But was there anything that we'll include the link? It's from eMarketer. You can do a search if you want to. But was there anything that was shocking about this?
Nothing shocking. It's just interesting to see the numbers. So basically, the one big number that they popped out said that 70% of consumers checked an online source before actually visiting a local business or restaurant.
Right.
They didn't necessarily define what that source was per se. I mean, they broke it out a little bit. Google being kind of at the top of the heap, as you would expect, followed by Yellow Pages and so on. But I think that's a pretty big number. 70%.
It's pretty incredible. Like, the number that really struck me was how important is it to be top of, how important is SEO and SEM? 17% clicked on the first web link on the search page results.
Yeah.
17%. So almost 1 in 5, when they land on a page, they get a results, they click on the first one. It's either lazy search or you really should be focused on your SEO, SEM, certainly, and more so even on the mobile space. Like, I'd be interested to see the breakdown between mobile search and traditional web search. But boy, Twitter 2%. That's pretty incredible.
I think the other thing too is that one of the charts that they had in this report was the value of smartphones specifically driving traffic to retailers, and they contrasted the same data from last year to this year. And so last year, it was 65% of people surveyed said that smartphones either added a lot of value or some value, in terms of them actually going to a retail store. Yeah. And this year, the number's up at 87%. So that's huge.
But it begs the question, right? Maybe last year, 35% said had no value whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you can see that because it was we're still in that mode of creative destruction. But in 2011, near the end of 2011, to have 13% of the people say no value and 30% of the people saying no, we don't use the web. Like, where are they getting these people?
They got to make sure they have a balanced audience, bro.
So we're like,
I'm kidding.
Inukshuk, or no, I mean, way up north somewhere. Is it like, these guys? What person in their right mind doesn't use the internet now, unless they don't have access to it in North America? That's the only question that I would have.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a good percentage that don't. So
yeah, it should be everybody's right at some point, but
if they don't, they at least got to go get a smartphone and then get Foursquare.
Exactly, Poorsquare, buddy. Go to your library and get Foursquare. So mobile brings new opportunities for local retailers, and it's absolutely true. Certainly, local search is going to be is massive if you don't know, and it's going to be even bigger as much more relevant. And I keep driving this home, and everywhere I talk, it's the same thing. Is that, look, if you are relying on a mobile search through Google, and you don't have a mobile version of your website. I'm not talking your website shrunk down so that it looks good on a mobile device. I'm talking about one that has clear navigation, a lot of white space, it's very concise, there's no flash, there's no garbage on it. You really should do this because Google has changed their algorithms now on the mobile search. So if you actually are not adhering to some of these things around simplistic navigation and as I said before, cleaning it up, even if you come up number 1 or number 2 on a web search, on a traditional web search, they will dock you down. This is how they weigh the value of a website, because if it's not mobile ready, they don't want to show it. So get your site mobile ready, because it's going to be much more important at the end of 2011, especially around Christmas time and into 2012. You still got time. Go do it. Go do it. Do something with that website.
I think that's it.
It is. That's it. We are done. Episode number 51. We will be celebrating a year next week.
That's right. Cupcakes. We're ready.
See if I can't believe it. I can't believe it. November 20th. Next Sunday, it is going to be a year. You can start pouring us. We'll read your comments if you like the show for this first year. We'd love to read them on, and we will be here for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a special one, and you know, we won't let it all out of the bag yet, but expect a lot for next week.
Yes, 4 hours. We'll do the 4-hour recap of the first year. Yes. Well, that's it. So we'll be back next week, episode number 52, where we cover again what happened next week, this coming week, in the world of location-based marketing. If you want to provide some feedback for this, or if you want to let us know how we're doing, if you want to give us some praise for being here for a year, providing this for an entire year, do so. There's a number of ways you can reach out. Publicly, you can actually go out and put this out as a Twitter post. We'd love to see that as well. We love the Twitter posts. And just put it out there. This is This Week in Location-Based Marketing. And make sure you do a little tag at the LBMA or at Rob Woodbridge so it draws our attention. You can reach out to us by email. I'm at untether@gmail.com. Asif is asif@thelbma.com. You can call us, but I'm not going to give you the phone number over this. But we really want to hear from you. If we've said anything that's offensive, like if I've said anything that's offensive, reach out and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, we'd love to hear
really
from you.
appreciate the comments, and you know, just a quick shout out to one in particular, because came up to me in person last week in New York. Darren Clement, who's the CEO of Maponics. We covered their company a while back, and he's been watching ever since. And you know, came up to me and purposely said, you know, I really appreciate it. I love the show. So thanks, Darren, and we hope the rest of you do too. So yeah, let us know. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, that's it. We'll see you next week for episode number 52 of This Week in Location-Based Marketing. Asif, as always, man, thanks. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye.
See you, everybody.